Hello Internet, welcome to Hot Button Hashtags. My name is Matt. Graduates, you guys did an awesome job, I'm assuming, because you graduated. Actually, graduating isn't that hard. I did it. At one time. Now, you are officially not your mom's problem anymore. You've got a long summer of irresponsibility ahead of you, and I am going to tell you how to spend that summer. So I've written up this little guide based on my personal experiences as a human being, which I have been for 37 years now. Very successfully, I might add. Because at no time have I ever not been a human. Let me guide you from my experience. Let me teach you. Join me, won't you, on this journey? What to expect for the recent high school graduate. Now that you have your diploma in hand, and your mother has finally stopped sobbing and looking at baby pictures, what can you expect from the coming months? This is your first summer as an adult, and with it comes a whole new list of privileges and consequences. You need to be prepared. Here are a few tips to help you. Number 1, get a car. Make sure it's a small hatchback, just big enough for you and 3 friends. That way, when you get tickets to the Smashing Pumpkins concert, that annoying 5th friend has to ride all the way in the back storage area, and every time you hit a pothole, he smacks his head on the window. Pretend that this was an unfortunate oversight. Number 2, get a job at a hardware store. Make sure it's somewhere your mother has friends so you won't actually have to work very hard. And then make friends with the boss's son, especially if he's a volunteer firefighter, because he gets all kinds of training about which household items will explode when mixed, and he'll probably share that information with you. At the first opportunity, purchase those household items and mix them. Number 3, get a copy of Rancid's And Out Come the Wolves. Insert it into the tape deck of your car stereo and don't take it out until September. Let this be the sum of your knowledge of punk rock, and make sure to crank it up as loud as you can whenever old people are nearby so they know that you are cooler than they are. Number 4, keep your eyes open for former classmates to see how they are handling their newfound freedom as adults. There's a good chance that 2 of them will enter the hardware where you're working, smelling strongly of an unnamed, possibly illegal, smoky plant. They'll find themselves bewildered by the selection of shelf brackets. Proceed to assist them and watch them lose their minds at the vastness of your shelf bracket expertise. Build several homemade grenades and then promptly lose them in your bedroom. Stand back and watch your stepfather flip out when he's made aware of the situation. True story. Number 6, realize shortly before the summer ends that you haven't eaten a decent meal since your last school lunch. Secretly blame your mother for this and begin harboring ill feelings toward her. Then get over it when they build a Taco Bell near your house. Number 7, while exploring the innards of an old stereo, forget to unplug it before prodding some zappy bits with a screwdriver. This will short out the entire second floor of your house, which will go unnoticed by your parents for a good 2 months before you finally wander down to the basement in search of the breaker box. And eventually you might also lose a little bit of hair. Just a bit. Not even enough to notice. It's Number 8. You are now, more than likely, 18 years old, which means that you now have access to all sorts of formerly out-of-reach paraphernalia. Most importantly, fireworks. In the early morning hours, while most respectable folks are asleep, you and your friends may find it necessary to climb the only hill in your small town with a kite and a few gross of bottle rockets. Long story short, the night ends abruptly when the police arrive in response to several complaints. Number 9. Other cures for boredom. Use fireworks to blast craters in the freshly manicured landscaping around the bank. Street hockey, 2 in the morning in the Missionary Church parking lot. Climb the ancient, rusting grain tower by the train tracks to see if it will topple under the combined weight of 4 teenagers and the vibrations of a passing train. Sit on your friend's roof and shoot bottle rockets at his neighbor's house because you're an idiot and you don't realize how dangerous or inconsiderate that kind of thing is. Drive your car wherever it will fit. And if you followed my advice and purchased a small hatchback, it will fit wherever you choose to drive it. Give yourself a mohawk. Number 10. As the summer draws to a close, and you are faced with the reality of being part of the real world, assuming you aren't going to college, you will become gripped with the realization that you were held hostage in the school system for 13 years, learning mundane equations, scientific names for all sorts of sea creatures, sentence diagramming, cursive writing. And not only will you never, ever, ever need to know any of this, the stuff you actually need to know was completely and gleefully ignored. You are now less prepared to be an adult than you were on the day you haltingly stumbled into kindergarten with your Kermit the Frog backpack and your brand new Velcro shoes. Don't worry. This feeling of rage and unpreparedness will stay with you for the rest of your life. So graduates, congratulations. Well done. You did it. Well, some of you did. Well, homeschooling. If you were homeschooled, I don't know if you really technically did it. I mean, there's probably a little nepotism going on at home and at school. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how homeschooling is interesting to me. How do parent-teacher conferences work when you're homeschooled? Like, do you go in and sit down and like your teacher sits down and says, well, I'm sorry you had to come in here on your day off, and your mom, she gets up and she goes to the other side of the table and she says, I just don't understand why you couldn't have done this over email. And she gets up to the other side of the table and the teacher says, well, I feel like this kind of conversation works better face to face. Well, what seems to be the problem? I feel like if this was ongoing, you could have contacted me sooner. Well, look, I don't mean to point fingers here, but perhaps he would benefit from a little more attention at home. Excuse me? Are you calling me a bad mother? Do we need to get up and take care of this right now? And then the poor kid's sitting there going, Mom, calm down. She's not calling you a bad mom. And then it's really awkward and weird. I mean, I don't really know how it works. That's mostly why I wasn't homeschooled, because my mom, she has like a weak hip. She couldn't get around the table fast enough, and the lag in the conversation would have kind of killed the momentum. And anyway, don't forget to like and subscribe and comment and tell your friends. Thanks a lot, and we will talk to you very shortly, soon, on another day, other than today. Maybe not later today. We're just doing one.